Kinds of Kindness review. Yorgos Lanthimos reunites with Emma Stone for overlong but admirable triptych. Stone, Jessa Plemons and Willem Dafoe head the cast in the Poor Things director's odd three-part study of control, whose central idea proves elusive cannibalism. Autoamputation. Obsession. Delusion. A glum-bearded, entirely silent man whose initials are. Numerous themes and plot points are nipping away at the bones of Yorgos Lanthimos' follow-up to Poor Things. An unwieldy triptych of not-quite-connected stories, starring the same repertory group of actors: Emma Stone, Jessa Plemons, Margaret Qualley, Willem Dafoe, Hong Chow, Mamoudou Athie and Joe Alwyn, in different roles in each of the three chapters. Kinds of Kindness leans back into the surreal cruelty and bizarro-banal logic of the director's earlier films. Dogtooth is an obvious reference, but there's also an element of the lobster's twisted relationship politics here. But despite the recurring themes in the three stories, a unifying idea or central thesis that ties them together proves to be frustratingly elusive. Two things are undeniable, however. The first is that kindness of any kind is conspicuously absent in the film. The second is that Lanthimos is evidently fascinated to a degree that may not be entirely healthy with the idea of total control and subjugation of free will. It's a theme which was central in Dogtooth, his brilliantly uncomfortable 2009 breakthrough picture, in which an overbearing father keeps his three adult children unwitting prisoners in the family compound by creating an intricate mythology about the dangers of the world beyond the boundaries. And control, to varying degrees and various ends, links the three stories in Kinds of Kindness. It's most overt as a story element in the first of the chapters, titled The Death of, played by Yorgos Stephanakos, is the only character who appears in all three of the stories, albeit obliquely. The film is sporadically funny, but it's also emotionally arid and mannered. In this first chapter, Plemons brings a fretful discomfort to the role of Robert, playing him as the kind of person who never knows what to do with his arms when he poses for a photograph. For the last 10 years, Robert has willingly entered into an all-consuming contract with his boss and sometime lover Willem Dafoe. All decisions from the clothes he wears and the food he eats to his choice of wife and the frequency that they have intercourse are made for him by Raymond, via instructions in a daily handwritten note. But when Robert refuses one of Raymond's more extreme requests, Raymond abruptly severs the relationship, rescinding his favor and taking back his lavish presents of collectible sporting memorabilia. Robert's life implodes after he confesses all to his wife, Sarah Chow, who is understandably furious about her husband's deception and his spineless acquiescence to Raymond's demands, not to mention the loss of her favorite of all Raymond's gifts, a smashed McEnroe tennis racket. Robert's desperation to claw his way back into Raymond's good books is sharpened when he begins to suspect that he has been replaced in Raymond's affections by Rita Stone. Plemons and Stone are reunited in the second and least successful story, titled this time as Daniel, a cop whose mental health has hit a rough patch, and his wife Liz, recently rescued after going missing on an ocean expedition. But Daniel's initial relief soon turns sour as he starts to question whether the woman who has returned from her desert island ordeal actually is his wife. The control aspect in this story results from Daniel's demands on his wife to prove herself and manifests itself in some robustly grisly body horror. The third chapter follows cult members Andrew Plemons and Emily Stone as they search for a prophesied woman who can raise the dead, all the while jostling for position in the affections of the beatifically toxic cult leaders Omi Defoe and Aka Chow. For their part, Omi and Aka, like Raymond, make impossible demands on their followers, rewarding absolute submission with neatly portioned allocations of sex. Having collaborated with screenwriter Tony McNamara on his two most recent films, The Favorite and Poor Things, Here Lanthimos reunites with his long-term creative partner, co-writer on all Lanthimos' films from Dogtooth until killing of a sacred deer Lanthimos Filippo. In common with those early collaborations, Kinds of Kindness is unapologetic in its ambiguity and oddness, and for that, you have to respect it. And the score by Jerskin Fendrix is admirably daring, combining discordant piano that sounds as though it was played by fighting cats with hilariously portentous choral interludes. But without the full-bore stylistic visual onslaught that oiled the wheels of Lanthimos' last two films, Kinds of Kindness can feel rather a slog. The film is shot